Police say a lone gunman dressed in black approached Annunciation Church just before 8:30 a.m. and started firing at worshipers through the windows. The Minneapolis Police Department confirmed an active shooter opened fire at a church on the city's south side Wednesday morning, killing 2 children and injuring 17 others. Police say the shooter died by suicide following the rampage, and there was no longer a threat to the community. Hours after the shooting, law enforcement sources told KARE 11 Investigates reporter A.J. Legault that the shooter is a 23-year-old named Robin Westman. Legault also learned that the gunman grew up in Richfields and his mother worked at Annunciation School in some capacity. Court documents show that when he was 17, Westman applied in Dakota County to change his birth name from Robert to Robin. That request was granted in January of 2020. An army of police and paramedics arrived at Annunciation Church, 509 West 54th Street, around 8:30 a.m., where police reported that a man dressed in black and armed with a rifle was spotted on the scene. At a press conference later Wednesday morning, Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said the shooter, a man in his early 20s, appears to have barricaded doors to the church before approaching the side of the building and opening fire with the rifle, shooting through the windows directly at children sitting in the pews for a special mass. The chief confirmed that 2 children, ages 8 and 10, were killed in the hail of bullets. Another 17 suffered gunshot wounds, and 14 of those were students. 2 of the injured are in critical condition. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping, O'Hara said, his voice breaking. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. O'Hara told reporters that the shooter, who came armed with the rifle, a shotgun, and a handgun, did not have a significant criminal record. The chief acknowledged reports that the mass shooter also had improvised explosives with him, but said law enforcement found no bombs on the scene. The shooter left a vehicle in the church parking lot, O'Hara said, saying it would be searched along with other locations. At this time, investigators believe the gunman was operating alone. Hennepin Healthcare Hospital confirms 10 patients arrived with gunshot wounds, 2 adults and 8 children. Dr. Tom Wyatt said 4 of the patients from the Annunciation shooting were rushed into surgery. An update said 1 adult and 6 of those children are in critical condition. Children's Minnesota, a pediatric trauma hospital, confirms 6 students were admitted for care. Neighbor Bill Bieneman told KARE 11 Investigates that his daughter went to Annunciation School for 9 years. He lives 2 blocks away from the scene and was shocked when he heard a volley of gunfire that went on for what he estimated was 3 or 4 minutes. He said there's no way that could be gunfire. There was so much of it, so it was sporadic, it was a semi-automatic, and seemed like a rifle. It certainly didn't sound like a handgun, and so he must have reloaded, several times for sure. Bieneman believes he heard between 30 and 50 shots fired. Bishop Kevin Kenney, who leads St. Olaf Catholic Church in downtown Minneapolis, went directly to Hennepin Healthcare Hospital when he heard about the mass shooting to be a presence for victims and their families. It was horrific, Kenney shared, about his reaction upon hearing about the shooting. I grew up in that parish, so it has meaning to me now, but it shouldn't be happening. What happened on 8th and Hennepin this morning, Lake Street yesterday, something has got to happen to stop this. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey was visibly shaken as he addressed the violence that unfolded on the south side of his city. Frey begged not just residents of Minneapolis, but people across Minnesota to support the families that lost children and those who will struggle to help their kids heal. We are a Minneapolis family, but to everybody out there, do not think of these are just somebody else's kids. Those families are suffering immense pain right now. Think of this as if they were your own. Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce we can muster, Frey implored. Stand by them, love them. Governor Tim Walz posted on social media that he has been briefed about a shooting at Annunciation Catholic School, and that agents from the BCA and troopers from the State Patrol are on scene along with Minneapolis police. I'm praying for our kids and teachers whose first week of school was marred by this horrific act of violence, Waltz wrote. KARE 11 has multiple crews at the scene and will have the latest on the situation and victims. Wednesday's incident is just the latest in a violent 24 hours in Minneapolis. 3 people were shot and killed in 3 separate shootings Tuesday afternoon into early Wednesday morning. At least 8 people also suffered gunshot wounds in the incidents.